Doom.
Yes, Doom, The Dark Ages, the game that I'm probably most hyped about coming out this year right now anyway. And, I get excited about a lot of things really easily, but, I'm excited by this. We have news on the PC specs and requirements for Doom, The Dark Ages, and also news on multiplayer modes for this game. Of course, we saw the deep dive on this game in the Xbox Developer Direct with id Software, going into a huge amount of detail in this kind of 10-minute presentation where we saw extended gameplay and kind of a real deep dive as to what we should expect from Doom, The Dark Ages. And it was filled with absolutely mountains of heavy metal medieval mayhem. And it was absolutely everything that this game promised to be so far. I just hope that it holds up to that promise when we actually get hands-on with it in May. But it's Game Pass Day 1 for all of you Game Pass subscribers. So it's really very little to lose out on just trying it. But we do have confirmation, firstly, on the multiplayer modes for this game, and that they won't actually exist. There will be no multiplayer modes for Doom, The Dark Ages, because the developers have decided to focus purely on making the campaign and the story a properly amazing experience as much as possible. So all of the development resources have been spent on making the single player version as good as it can be. And I wish more shooters would do this. More action games need to do this. Focus purely on the campaign and making it as great as can be, because firstly, we don't need any more half-baked arena shooters, do we, Concord? And also, we want these amazing games to have great stories and not this kind of half-baked, vanilla, thinly spread piece of rubbish that we get with Call of Duty every year. Doom is an awesome franchise of single-player mayhem, and that's where we absolutely want it to be. So it's great to see them focusing so heavily on that. There's no word about any potential co-op modes, though, in with this multiplayer. They were kind of aiming it purely at being kind of a player v player kind of multiplayer that won't exist. But no word on co-op modes. It would be absolutely epic to see a kind of 2 or 3 player co-op for the campaign here, because I can imagine that just being a massive amount of fun. Now, I'm kind of selfish. It's just what I want to see. But no word on that. Whether it will be there or not, we have to wait and see. But we do have, of course, the PC specs and requirements for Doom, The Dark Ages. And we have the game minimums looking for an RTX 2060 with 16 gig of system RAM. Recommended settings are an RTX 3080 with 32 gig of system memory. And for ultra 4K face melting mayhem, we're looking at a 16 gig RTX 4080. Wow, okay. It's actually not as crazy as I thought it might be. It's great to see that the game is pushing what is really the bleeding edge of what's available right now before the 50 series cards actually hit the market. But it's not that crazy when you look at the minimum and the kind of recommended settings. That sits into what most people will be using in their rigs now. And it also does mean that we can see this potentially on PC handhelds like the ROG Ally X, which I find deeply exciting as an Ally X owner, obviously, and Andy also on the channel. It's something we deep dive into so much is the PC handhelds and handheld gaming in general. So seeing Doom handheld again, that's going to be really exciting. So you watched all of that news story and you're thinking, God, I want to see some more of that guy laughing at himself. Well, you're in luck, because the full 128KB news video is linked right here for you right now. It happens once a week over on 128KB, so click on it now, go over there and then write a little comment underneath saying, hey AJ, I like it when you're laughing at me. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but go over there now and I'll see you there.